What's up, folks? Welcome back to AKOYE, man. We're gonna talk about some Gallup in a second. I'm gonna let a few of y'all to join up as usual. My eyes look glassy as hell, like I'm high. I'm not high though, I promise. I don't know what the hell going on with them, but they just maybe because I just got out of the shower, I feel refreshed. But my eyes they look glassy in this camera. Maybe it's the camera. I don't know, but I'm good though. Feeling good, man. But yeah, let's wait for a few guys to join up, and then we'll get in there. Young C Money, what's up with you, Brody? I don't got my glasses. They in the car. I'm not going downstairs, so y'all gonna get this the lazy eye that you got going on right now. PZ Alfuego, that's a hell of a name, man. I like you. Yeah, I like your name anyway. What's up with you? Def Promise, what's up? He said, "My dog, how you doing?" Charlene, what's up, Charlene? How you doing? Yeah, man. I'm feeling good today, man. Feeling good today. You already know what it is. Y'all see the title. We re-signed Gallup. I just want to talk about a little bit of the free agency stuff that we got going on right now, and then you guys can talk about whatever y'all talking about. We'll go from there. I just dropped that video too with Jalen Carter. Make sure y'all go watch it. Make sure y'all watch it. I feel like a lot of people was giving me too much hell about Jalen Carter. They were talking a lot of shit. Like, when I dropped Mozzie Smith's video, they're like, "What, did Jalen Carter die?" And I'm like, "Nah, his film just against Ohio State. His film just didn't look good, man. He was getting kicked all over the place." He said Texans signed Robert Woods. I like Robert Woods, man. That's a good one. What's up, Eastside? Troy Dudley, what up? Puncho the King, what's good, man? What's up with you? Special K, my guy, the agent in the building. Timo 419, what's up with you, bro? Ah, man, here go Davey again. Keeping Zeke and restructuring MG are literally the worst moves we could have done. Tell me what moves you would have done that are better. Like, you just, you the best GM in the world, man. You know what I mean? Troy Dudley, let's debate Zeke again. Yo, people are really y'all. I mean, not y'all, cause y'all here, but there's some petty fans out there, man. Every time I say anything about Zeke, and the only time I say it is because people mention it. But people will come have a conversation with me about Zeke, and then unsubscribe from me once I tell them what I think. Like, if you don't want to know what I think, don't ask me no questions, man. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like it here, you know what I mean, get the fuck up out of here. That's the way it goes. Uh, we kept Zeke. No, it's not. No, he's saying like if we keep Zeke, if we restructure Zeke. Um, yeah, we restructured Gallup and got more cap room. We got 7 million more. So you're right about that. Def Promise. You're right. Yep, we got 7 million more. So we're at 22 million in cap space right now. And I mean, we already know what Gallup is. Gallup's first season back, he obviously wasn't going to be himself. And we gotta all kind of understand that like 1 year of injury doesn't mean you'll never be good again. But in this quick microwave society that we're in right now, we kind of forget that that's a common thing. We have, there's been players who've been injured several times in the past who've come back and gotten back to form. So Gallup will be another that's just like it. Honestly, the guy that we're going after right now is going through the same exact thing, except for he redshirted his last season. That's Odell Beckham. So going after guys who have those types of injuries, those ACL, those knee injuries, or any injuries to their wheels when they're a wide receiver, I understand like some hesitation that you might encounter because of that. So I do get that. I don't argue with anybody about that's just common sense. But you must understand that that first year they're not going to be cutting the same way. So I don't have a problem with the restructure of Gallup, and the restructure isn't an extension. It's just they're pushing his money to the back because they want to keep room this year for whatever moves they're about to make. Doesn't mean that he's losing money or anything like that. So it just gives us money right now, which is cool. So what we got, we going with what we got, man. I only deal with that. I don't deal with the hypotheticals unless we talk about drafts or players that I might want if you ask. But to start talking about him deserving it or not, they did it. They ain't cutting him. So why am I having this conversation? It's just like having several videos about LV getting cut. Like whether I want him here or not, they want him here. So he's still here for right now anyway. And speaking of that, that's a perfect segue actually, because what we're dealing with now is some of these players not named Donovan Wilson that may or may not get re-signed. And I think because we have this much cap space, I think they should go ahead and grab Carlos Watkins, obviously, and Hankins back to shore up that defensive line. going into the draft. That doesn't mean you don't go grab a guy like Mozzie Smith and shore it up a little bit, but it does tell us like, hey, we know we won't be going shopping with an empty stomach come the draft if we sign one or both of those guys, and I think they both deserve it. Carlos Watkins probably had a stronger year because he was here longer, but every time I've seen Carlos Watkins get in and be asked to play, whether he's playing 3 tech, 1 tech, or whatever, or 3-4 defensive end, he's performed and held up very well against the run. A lot better than one of my fan favorites, and this is why people say, oh, Koye's, he likes his guys. One of my favorite players on the team was Neville Gallimore going into this season and last season as well. You guys know that. But he outplayed Neville. Everybody on the defensive line outplayed Nev. You know what I mean? Nev didn't play very well. But Carlos Watkins, who we're getting on the cheap, definitely did play a lot better than and give us a lot more than what we got from Neville Gallimore. And so did Hankins. So keeping those guys might not cost us that much. So I would say just to shore up this defense, keeping those two, along with a peek at Fowler as well. I like what Fowler gave us. Fowler's not a homegrown guy, but he is a Dan Quinn guy. And I think that may weigh a little bit more heavily when it comes to keeping him, because I like what Fowler gave me on the edge. And him opposite, I mean, you guys know I keep no secrets about it. Now, if you want to hear some fantasy about Okoye, it's definitely going to be around the 3-4 defense. But having a Fowler opposite side of Sam Williams or Micah Parsons standing up, that's insane to me. I like both of those guys. I like the way they set the edge, and I like having D-Law inside. But until I see it, I mean, it probably ain't a reality. But at the end of the day, I do like what Fowler gave us, even in the spot work that he was there for. So we'll see. We'll see. I hope we don't let him get out of the building, though. Let's see what else we got going on in here. Keeping Zeke and Restructure. I read that already. We got a hope Gallup come back nice. There's no hope. Gallup came back and was formidable last year. He did. I mean, it was admirable what he did last year. He was a warrior for us, just like Zeke was. But Gallup played okay. It's just not up to the standard that we've set for Gallup or this receiver core. And a lot of that came due to the fact that, I think it was more about what Amari Cooper, more about what Amari Cooper couldn't give us than it was about what Gallup couldn't give us, to be honest with you. Because Amari Cooper wasn't here. You look at Gallup, who's coming off of that type of injury, to ask him to be a guy that can like be that decoy or be a real threat. That's a lot to ask. That's like asking a rookie to do it who does, like Tolbert, who doesn't know the NFL level or scheme. So I didn't expect that from Gallup. I think we needed a guy, even if it was going to be T.Y. earlier in the year, we needed a guy that can draw defenses deep so that we can work those things underneath. And Gallup wasn't going to be that guy in any stretch of the imagination, man. So let's just stop it. He's going to be back fine, though. Okoye, your guy boss said today that Dallas doesn't need much more talent, and we all need to stop worrying about free agency. I mean, when he's right, he's right. Boss is a guy that I mean, when we disagree, sometimes we could seem like we're a chasm apart. But lately, he's been on point with, and I'm not saying he's never on point. I'm talking about we've been in agreement though with a lot of the things that he's been covering, especially so shout out to Boss Cowboy, OC, Big Game James, Law Nation, Vosh, everybody, man, Sky. But what I will say though, when it comes to free agency, when you really think about it, we're not starving anywhere. I think that our wide receiver, we can obviously get better, but I think we're a spoiled fan base who thinks that this is Madden and you're playing with the all Madden teams where you need 99s at every position in order to go out and play. And such has never been the case in the history of football. Whether it's due to injury or guys being young or guys just not being very good, you learn to play with the guys that you have and you adjust accordingly. Of course, when you have a certain scheme or a scheme that doesn't fit the players on either side of the ball, players get exposed or players look worse than they actually are. And I'll give you an example with both. I'll give you an example with Connor Williams. Connor Williams is a guy that if you're playing a run heavy style of football where you're asking him to get out in space and pull and be a guy that's nimble with those feet and get in space. He could do that better than he could do that better than Zach Martin at this point in his career, right? But when you're asking him to be stout and to hold up against guys like Aaron Donald for 3-4 seconds, that's a tall order. So Connor Williams is best suited for a West Coast type of system, which is one we're in now. But he wasn't in that with Kellen Moore. But he's suited for a West Coast type style scheme because he's not going to hold up with those powerful defensive tackles for very long. But he can chop those guys, get their hands down so that those West Coast windows are wide open. That's what he's good at. He's a nimble guy that uses his athleticism, and we were asking him to be an anchor, and that's not him. On the other side of the ball, one of the guys that we all love, D-Law. D-Law is not one of the greatest at containing on the edge, right? But schematically, that's what he's asked to do. But he did a great job in San Fran, but that's not what he does. D-Law is a guy that is like he controls tackle to tackle, inside the tackles. He'll kill anything in there. Really. Like you can't, whether you run away from him, run at him, it don't matter. That's what, and he does it so much that he kind of loses sight of contain sometimes. So we ask him to play patient, and contain. That's not him. You know what I mean? So schematically, guys get exposed due to that, I think. And I feel like we all get spoiled as fans because we start to think that, if a guy isn't suited for a certain scheme or if a coach isn't tailoring his scheme like Kellen Moore to his players, that we need this influx of talent. Like talent is going to always fix that. Talent don't always fix that. Amari Cooper was one example that did because Amari Cooper came in here and understood with his IQ, we can't run 4 stop routes. But I don't think it takes a high IQ to see that. And, we were running 4 stop routes across the field, and he said something his first game in, like, this ain't it, buddy. You know what I'm saying? And then he said more, even more under Kellen Moore. So it's like that, man. When you look at guys that come in and they are that top-notch talent, it makes things easier, of course. But, talent can sometimes take your eyes off of what's really making players better, and that's the scheme. I'll give you an example. That's my mom. She just got out of surgery. I got to call her back. But I'll give you an example. Mike Tomlin and even Mike McCarthy, both Mikes, they had a history and still have one of developing wide receivers. You had Mike Wallace, you had Santonio Holmes. He had, I think, a little bit of Hines Ward in the end, but Hines Ward was already Hines Ward. Got that kid now, Pickens. You had that other kid, number 11, I forget his name, that's over there now. Antonio Brown, obviously, Juju Smith-Schuster. You can name so many wide receivers that became top-notch wide receivers under his regime. It's ridiculous. And the reason being is Mike Tomlin knows how to, his scheme and their system, they know how to develop wide receiver talent in that building, right? Because of the style of play and the style of receivers they go out and get. When you look at us, Mike McCarthy, I already talked about what he did with the Packers. It's not just the quarterbacks doing that. The scheme makes it easy for wide receivers. They know what they're supposed to be doing. It's easier for the quarterback too because he knows what they're doing. So when you have a scheme, you don't need the same level of talent. Ask the guys who keep putting us out the damn playoffs if we're not just as talented as them right now. So I agree with Boss. Could we go out and make some noise though? Yeah. But do we need to? Absolutely no. Look at San Fran. Not that they're the best team in the world. I think they could definitely get healthier. But George Kittle's, they have a better tight end in George Kittle's. But I think that Ferguson is going to be on that level, if not better, as he goes on. But he's not there yet, obviously. But he's good. And I think if you add both our tight ends, or you look at our tight end room, I like our tight end room better than I like San Fran's tight end room. I feel like the same production you're going to get out of George Kittle's, you're going to get out of Hendershot and Ferguson together. Offensive line wise, they have a good defensive line. So do we. Quarterback wise, I think we have a better quarterback than Lance and Purdy, although Purdy still beat us. So that tells you scheme can beat you. Running backs, I feel like I know Tony Pollard is just as good, if not better, than C-Mac. Anything I've seen C-Mac do on film, and I'm not saying this as a fan, I'm just saying I look at it like a coach. Can this guy do the things that I asked that guy to do? Yep. And I think he runs up the gut now because of that extra size. He might run up the middle a little bit better than C-Mac at this point in his career. C-Mac's good though. I'm not hating on him, but when you look at the running back room, I feel like same rules apply. So scheme is what we're missing, and that's what we've been missing. You know what I mean? So again, I agree with Boss. I feel like we have talent on both sides of the ball. Even our safety room, if we lose Donovan Wilson, you still got guys like Izzy Mukamu who came in and did work wonders. You had Curse, who also is a guy that I think um, has become a leader on this team, sort of like D-Law, that tone setter, energetically wise, and he's a green dot guy. And then you got Hooker, who on the back end makes some boneheaded moves sometimes against the run. You know, they give him more grace than they gave KZ, I'll tell you that. But because I think he kind of screwed up a little bit more than KZ, but Hooker's still a good safety over the top. I still like what we get out of Hooker as well. So yeah, it's like that for me. I feel like talent wise, we're there. We obviously can use some pieces. You know, who don't want new toys? But we're not starving at any position. May Hall, what's good? He said they hate Zeke so much, they refuse to hear any logic or reasoning. They hate Zeke so much they start to hate me. I'm like, well, damn, ain't y'all Cowboys fans? How y'all unfollowing me over Zeke videos? And they show me in the videos, in the comments, they'll come, hey man, I give them a tribute. I gave them a tribute. Someone like, hey man, won't you just let it go? They act like I'm like, you know, praying over a dead dog. You know what I mean? I'm like, it's a tribute video because Zeke plays for this team. Like, why wouldn't I give him a tribute? Whether he stays here or not, he deserves that, don't he? Where do you think highlight videos come from? You think somebody else makes them from another team, another team's fan base, another fan base makes them? Nah, if I make a highlight video, stop hating. Like, how you hating on that? Like, he don't deserve no respect for nothing he's done in his career because you want him going today. That makes no sense. But yeah, man. That Zeke take is hot. Love him though. Hope if he's around, he stays healthy. Based on wear and tear trending down. Yeah, I mean, I won't even get into that because it's gonna stay forever. Like I'll get in that conversation, we'll be in it forever. Usually, it's taking over all my last couple of lives because everybody start arguing with me about that. I ain't got time for it. But I feel what you're saying. Troy Dudley, at least Gallup played for his team. OBJ, yeah, he ain't played for nobody. What's up, loving Aries? How you doing? Jamal Wilson said, Adrian Peterson. I know what you're saying. David Jingus, what's up, my boy? How you, man? That's my guy, DJ Touchtone. We might see more of a third running back in that room. I think so. I wouldn't mind if we just kept Malik Davis. Malik Davis played good last year in preseason and during the season when he played. I think he could be that one cut guy that can give you a little bit of what both those guys give you. He has better burst than Zeke, but has power, has more power than Tony and more burst than Zeke, but he's right in the middle. So I think he's a good change of pace guy. Reminds me a lot of what we would get if we went after Kendre Miller, somebody who could do a little bit of both of what those guys do, but not everything that either one does. So I wouldn't mind riding into the season with those three, and then adding a rookie. Because when you look at Zeke's rookie season, we Law actually pointed this out, but we ran everybody. We had so many running backs touching the ball. It's crazy. Like Rod Smith, I think, came the next year, maybe. But it was Rod Smith at one point. It was also, who's the kid who used to never upgrade his car? I always forget his name. Alfred Morris. Yeah, Alfred Morris. Um, Dak, obviously. Lucky Whitehead, obviously. Uh, it was two more though. It was two more, but we had running backs galore, so I think that's going to happen again. I think we're going to, especially with the way Schottenheimer runs the ball, you need a rotation because not only will everybody not be hot depending on who you're playing, but also he will run your running back into the dirt. Axe Carson, Carson, what's his name? Chris Carson, but he ain't in the league no more. I know that. What's up, Agent Nine? What's good with you, brother? Dave, this would have been Gallup's year to prove it, and if he didn't, we could have cut him to get out of the contract. Now that's not possible. You be so butthurt by these things. I don't get it. You act like that's the end of the world. If Gallup can't prove it this season, do you think we won't all join you in the let's just, see what else we got out here sweepstakes? We definitely will. But to worry about it the way you worry is crazy. That don't even make no sense. I know you, Davey. You got more sense than that. I know you got more sense than that. You worry too much. Dallas knows Gallup will be fine. Of course, they know he'll be fine because if he wasn't fine, they wouldn't have gave him no money in the first place. So they double checked that knee before they gave him that money. So I think he'll be fine. Troy Dudley says Fowler or who? I don't get what you mean. Sam G, what's up, my guy? I say Bobby Wagner and Damone Clark at linebacker. Let Bobby guide Clark. Yeah, y'all sleeping, man. Cause to me, and maybe I'm crazy, but I've watched the Clark uh, film and I've watched the Cox film, and Brillo is the one that y'all sleeping on. I think they redshirted him last year because of the knee, and I think Brillo's going to have an amazing season this year. He's not a special teams guy. They were calling him the steal of the draft in his draft year for a reason, and he was coming on strong when he got hurt. You remember he knocked out Daniel Jones that year. He was flashing, and he just didn't play last year. He was a healthy scratch last year, and I'm glad he was. But a lot of people forgetting that. Like now, does he have the experience? No. But when you say Bobby Wagner and Clark, don't forget that Cox is there as well. I think Cox is definitely going to get into that rotation for sure, and he should. He should. Now that's a guy that you're saying like if he doesn't do anything this year, it's going to be a head scratch. It's going to be like Rico Gathers. Like why don't they use him? I don't know. Um, at Troy, Dallas doesn't know anything. They're banking on on a far fetched if like they did with Tolbert and Washington last year. James Washington got hurt, bro. How was that a if? James Washington would have played. We would have had a good wide receiver room. He was supposed to come in and spare Gallup, but Gallup had to come in and play earlier because James Washington wasn't here. Tolbert was supposed to also spare Gallup. Didn't get to play because he didn't understand Kellen Moore's scheme. So I mean, that's not a if. That's not a wish or far fetched. Like they're supposed to get these wide receivers up to speed. And I mean, who thought that James Washington wouldn't play more than T.Y. Hilton? Nobody thought that. Um, think Kelvin reached his ceiling? No, I don't. I don't think he even got close. He's an underachiever, not a guy that's reached his ceiling and we saw what he is and he is what he is. No, I think he is what he is up here. But talent wise, no, he's nowhere near his ceiling. His maturity needs to change. He might have reached the ceiling there, and I don't know. But I need to see a guy that's tuned into football. It's always a bad sign when you got a guy that is trying to be famous for something other than what he does for a living. Like this is what you do. What is your business? It's a movie I used to watch. I mean, my mom actually watched back in the day called Cider House Rules, right? Don't really matter. The movie, it's about an orphanage and all that, but it ain't really about that. It's a dude named Delroy Lindo in that movie. And they like apple peelers and they work for Apple Orchard. They make like cider and shit like that. Obviously Cider House Rules. But this dude started arguing with him. Delroy said, "What business you in?" And he said, "Just say you in the Apple business, man." That's what everybody was saying. He said, "No, no, what business you in?" And he said, "They just like just say you in the Apple business." And boy wouldn't say it, so boy pull out a knife and go at Delroy Lindo. Delroy Lindo cut his jacket off of him without even cutting him. He just cut his raincoat off the dude's body. And it was like, I'm in the knife fighting business. You don't want to be in no kind of business with me. You know what I'm saying? But why I say that is, Del Rolando was saying like it's just like a 300 when they said, "What is your profession?" Like you need to be laser focused. If you're a football player, you need to be laser focused on your profession. I'm like when it comes like Kobe and all that, be laser focused on what you do. You know what I mean? I like guys that are multi talented. Don't get me wrong, but everybody ain't Jamie Foxx, bro. Like, be laser focused on what it is you do. You know what I mean? And when I don't see that, it's a problem. So, especially if you are a problem, if you're gonna be multi-talented, you better be making it look easy. If you're not, and you ain't coming in firing off on all cylinders, that's already a red flag. So Kelvin got to show me something. Otherwise, I don't care how talented he is, he can get out of here. and it ain't got nothing to do with him not being talented. It's because you already had this issue coming from LSU to Kentucky. It was because of immaturity. And then you get in the league and you still just as immature, if not, I would say more immature, because you ain't catch no bodies while you was in college. You know what I'm saying? You wait to get to the league. That night, I watched that on camera. I deal with a lot of that here. We got a lot of youth here. I got sons that's around that age too. So it's like when I see dumb shit, like I got daughters that's definitely his age. You know what I mean? So when I see shit like that, it pisses me off because Buddy ain't need to die that night. Yeah, y'all got it in fair square. It was a fair rumble. People fight. I get it. But to shoot at him when y'all driving off, he not a threat to you. That was nutty. So that was some of the most immature shit I've seen. Period. Whether you a football player or not, there's a lot of that going on in the world. But I don't like it, and I don't give you an excuse because you suit up for a team I like. So I'm on his ass until you know I'm on Ray Lewis' ass still too. So don't get it. Don't think I'm just picking on him. I don't like that shit. And I'm not saying you don't defend yourself, but that wasn't. I wasn't in the. I didn't see the Ray Lewis situation, but I damn sure saw the Kelvin Joseph one, and that wasn't self defense. Like it wasn't no self defense at all. Y'all was driving away. I don't know. I got faith in Tolbert with Kellen gone and a healthy MG. I do have faith in Tolbert. I do. I still think you grab a guy. You still grab another rookie, but I got faith in Tolbert. I do. I think Tolbert's going to surprise a lot of people. He's going to surprise a lot of people because you can't get no lower than what he is right now. That's why I think Cox is too. Neither one of them. They're not playing, but these are guys that I think are still a third round and a fourth round pick that ain't played and everybody's down on them like they're bust already. Oh, they're going to have to blow up because there's nothing else to do. Nothing else to do. There is no definite in the league, Dave. You say exactly. We might. Well, what ain't a might? We might have Dak Prescott for 17 games. We might not. We might go 8-0. We might go 0-8. All those are mights, bro. There's nothing definite in this world. The only thing that's finite is death and taxes, bro. That's about it. Well, we all got to go. You know what I mean? But that's it. You can't. Ain't no definite. Gordon Mayhall Jr. says, I do hope MG steps it up this year. I'd love to see Dono and Hank back. I don't know why everyone is pushing LVE though. Is pushing LVE in or out? I don't know. I'm not pushing for him if that's what you're saying. I think LVE will become the Sean Lee or the late year Jason Witten. Jason Witten when he came back from broadcasting, and Sean Lee. And what I mean by that is a progress stopper to a degree because he is good enough to get on the field and he is good enough and has the seniority in that room and the size and so on where you say, okay, we can let Brillo sit, we can let Clark sit. But I think if you let Clark and Brillo, you just cut them loose and let them run, those guys will show you what they are and what their athleticism is. And we might take a dip initially, just like we took a dip when we let go of Anthony Brown, but we eventually got better because of Bland getting more time and Izzy Mukamu getting more time. That dip is necessary sometimes, and I think in the linebacker room it's definitely necessary now. Instead of going to get guys like Barr, maybe even Wagner, let that linebacker room be what it is. Even if you want to just say, hey, the leader of this linebacker room is Micah Parsons, who's a linebacker. You guys forget, and one of the best players in this generation. Let him play linebacker alongside those other guys. And then the linebacker room ain't half as bad because where we were crowded, especially if you go get Fowler back, is with defensive ends. We got Dorrance Armstrong, we got Sam Williams, and we got D-Law. And if we add Fowler back to that rotation, we're fine at defensive end. We can put Micah Parsons back in the middle, and we're fine at linebacker immediately with Cox and Clark next to him. Micah Parsons in that San Fran game was a godsend at linebacker. He erased the hell out of C-Mac, and he wouldn't have done that at defensive end. So we're better with him at linebacker, to be honest with you. Really, we are. Now, you can put him over there when you need to, but we're better with him at linebacker. My voice raspy, so I don't know. I've been drinking tea all day, but still feel it. Dallas can draft. I remember some said Still was trash. Still's undrafted at that. And people said he ain't better than Collins. And then last year, like, we were still when our run game went down. The year before that, he was doing the same thing. It's just that if there's anybody that kind of ignores these players, it's the guys who are watching with their emotions from ESPN or wherever. I don't. I watch the film. I don't even watch football like that. I mean, when I say I don't watch it like that, I watch the other teams we're about to play on film with no broadcast. So I don't know what people are talking about half the time. I don't even know what I watch the news here to come talk to you guys, but I don't know what's going on half the time. And I do that on purpose so that I know I'm not giving you any confirmation bias. Never am. Just going off of film. So Phil still has been good since he got here. He's been doing the same thing since he got here, and he was better than Collins when he got here. JC Cowboys Network. What's up, brother? Jay SoCal starving at wide receiver. I wouldn't say that. We could use one though. You're right. We had a long conversation about West Coast, the West Coast scheme and what it'll do. GM, I'm trying to be into the off season, but it seems like Groundhog's Day with the Cowboys. I mean, that's every year, man. I mean, you're gonna do this every year, bro. But all you can do is speculate. When when you look at the way our front office is run and the way I mean, I grade it as a B, a consistent B. And me being a C and B student that didn't have to study, I mean, I'm content with that. When I say that, I mean we draft very well. We draft and develop pretty good. Um, do we go out and make the splashes that we used to? No, but you remember at one point we were doing that, and we paid for it, you know. But we used to go out. We got the Dion's, we got the Tos. We haven't done it since like 2010. Why? And we even went and got Cooper, so you could say we did it then. But we haven't won when we did it. So those who are screaming for what we did with Dion, but those who are screaming for us to go out and make these big splashes in free agency, I don't think we're above doing it front office wise. I think it has to make clear sense. And the same way I just said I rate us as a solid B, the team is a solid B in most positions. You know what I'm saying? So it makes it so there's like, do we need to break the bank for anyone? We don't need to. So that becomes a problem. But I do think if there was something that was so glaring like that, we got to go do it. Like when we were on the run, you saw this year, you saw Jerry wanting to go out and spend some money. So I think we'll do it if it makes that kind of sense. I don't think we'll do it this early in the season unless somebody is gone, like Tyron Smith going down, and we didn't have a Tyler. You might see us make some splashes then, because you got to protect your other investments. And Dak Prescott, you can't have the new money getting hurt because the old money got hurt. You know what I'm saying? So those things are what factor in. I understand the Groundhog's Day feeling, but that just comes with the territory, bro. But I get you. That's why I haven't watched TV since 2020. Like I don't really watch TV. I watch movies. I still love movies, but if there ain't a movie on or a series that I really feel like binge watching, my TV is off all the time. I'm always doing film or doing something. You know what I mean? So I get it. But that's with all things. Um Okoye, that's the point though. Teams who have been winning recently have not only put their own players via draft in the best positions to win, but also go after free agents and trades and assets to improve. We will, I think, in the middle of a season. I don't think we'll do it. I mean, look at the to your point. The Rams didn't go get OBJ from the Browns at this point in the season. They went and got OBJ in the middle of the season. Why? Because they needed a push. And I think we'll do that. So I agree with you, but I don't think now is the time to be getting crazy with your money when you don't even know what you did and going to do in the draft. Now, if you want to do that right before free agency, I mean, right before training camp, go ahead. You know what I mean? Right after June, if you decide to cut Zeke and you're like, okay, we got more money, you want to jump out there and do something, cool. If you keep Zeke and you're saying, okay, we want to add some things, cool. But you'll know more by June than you do now. I don't think now is the time to play with your money like that unless you are missing something that is like, it got to be a piece that would just, this team is going to be so much better if we add this one piece. And there's nothing out there that will make us that. Who? Who? That now we need to be that aggressive right now for. We don't need to break the bank. We don't need to sell out. Not right now. But a team like Carolina, who you're like, you looking at all these teams that's doing things. Carolina, they need to rebuild, so they needed to get those 4 picks. They need the draft picks. They need to do things that are drastic to kind of rebuild this team because they're in a rebuilding phase. We are not. We don't need to do that. Troy Dudley, Dallas will be lucky to sign their own free agents this year. Another good point. And that's the other thing that we don't play around with. Plexico Birds, to you right. That's the other thing we don't really factor into this play is when you go out and spend money or move mountains for guys like Jalen Ramsey. You know we got good team chemistry right now, right? We got a lot of guys who want money who are not begging for that money because they're waiting their turn. They're not holding out. They're not grumpy coming to work because they're waiting their turn, like Diggs and so on. When you go out and make those types of moves and you show that I'm willing to move mountains for this player, oh, best believe those guys who've been being humbled or being more humble than they should or could, they get upset too. You know what I'm saying? And it messes up the integrity. One player who I don't understand at all, who got a long-term deal offered. I don't know what that deal was, but Dalton Schultz got offered a deal and turned it down. And Jerry said something that has been happening, and I think it's because we haven't won anything, but it has been happening. He was saying like it seems like players are more apt to get to free agency now than they are to re-sign with the team. They want to see free agency first, and there's no good faith in that. And I think that Dalton Schultz is making a mistake. They're willing to give you money in a tight end room that I think is more talented than you. I think Hendershot is a better receiver, and so is Ferguson, to be honest. And I think Ferguson is just a better overall tight end overall in his career because he's a young guy that I think is playing like if Schultz is right here, Ferguson was like right there, and that's a young guy. So in 2 years, he's gonna pass where Ferguson where Schultz is today, easily. Year maybe, might be even this year with the amount of reps he might get. So and then the two of them being on the field at all times makes us better than what Schultz was giving us as well. Schultz is a smart guy, but he's not dynamic in any stretch of the imagination. He's a smart, tough, gritty tight end. I like him. But again, he's making a mistake. So a lot of players are doing that. A lot of players are doing that. And we do have to sign our own players. So when you got situations like that, it does make sense to not jump out there and be willing to throw a lot of money at a stranger when you got to dance with the girls who brought you first. And we ain't even done that. That doesn't make any sense. And that creates a look in the locker room where it's like you're not valued for your potential, you're not valued for what you've done for this team thus far. So I get that. I mean, but you're not gonna make those splashes, bro. Man, we need to go get guys. Who? Name the guys. Since y'all think we need guys so much, who? That give me a position and players that would make us immediately like ridiculously better that are available that we don't have to destroy our team to go get. If you say we got to give up first round draft picks, second round draft picks, I'll give you one guy who would have did that, but only would have been a problem with money. That was Jalen Ramsey. Who else? Bobby Wagner. I think we still might go get. Who else? I'm taking those off the table. What else you got? Wide receiver wise, who? Who? That we gotta break the bank on. OBJ even won 20 mil on bad wills. He won 20 mil a year. Who? And y'all complain so much about money around here. I know y'all ain't talking about being fiscally irresponsible. I know that. I ain't say we was gonna win if we only draft David. I said now ain't the time. You do that during the season. We don't got to do that right now. Or we could do that later in off season. We have a good team, but we still need 2 or 3 alpha dogs away from winning the championship. Who are they? Who are they? The Chiefs went out and got Ladarius. What's his name? Kadarius Tony, right? When did they do it? In the middle of the season. Yeah. Like, and what did they do? They got better. But that's what I mean. It's like you go make those types of moves. Sometimes you have a guy that just blows up and gets better out of nowhere, and now you're a contender. Sometimes you go out and make one of those moves, and now you're a contender. But it's gonna happen, bro. I don't have a doubt in my mind. We need to stop holding on to players over their prime. How often do we hold on to players over their prime? Where? We get rid of a lot of people here. If anything, we need to stop bringing in players who are over their prime. Now that is true. Holding on to them, who do we hold on to that's over their prime? You could say Tyron because he's injury prone. Who else? Tyrone Crawford. We held on to him for a long time. He's been over his prime, but we don't hold on to a lot of players that are over their prime. Zach Martin is over his prime. You think we should get rid of him? No, I don't think so. So yeah, it just depends, bro. When you look at players that we bring in, though, we are good at that. We'll go get a over his prime Dontari Poe. We'll go get a over his prime Bar. You know what I'm saying? We do that all the time, but we don't go. Robert Quinn was over his prime. You know what I mean? But still good. We go out and try to squeeze the last little bit of juice out of players all the time. So we do that more than we hold on to players that are over their prime. I think you're wrong on that one. If we definitely starving at wide receiver, I mean, again, explain to me how another team who definitely is starving worse at wide receiver beat us in the playoffs. How did that happen? I'm starting to realize a lot of Cowboys fans hate our players more than the other fans than other fans. Thank you, Ghost. It's a fact. It's a fact. I've never seen so much of that in my life where it's like whose head can we cut off? And I think it's the fantasy football era, Madden era, people who haven't played organized sports era because it's like it's more to being a team than just put a suit on and go out and play. Chemistry definitely has something to do with it. Relationships have a lot to do with it. We always say, "Oh, I don't like the politics," but politics has everything to do with who you play for and how hard you play for who you play for. So, like Dan Quinn being here is the reason our defense will continue to be good, not just because of his scheme, because players want to play for him. You know what I mean? So, all that counts. And fans got to realize, like Seattle Seattle's good sometimes, and they're not good sometimes, right? But one thing that's always consistent is their fans, right? I live in Philly. I don't like Philadelphia Eagles, but I don't like their but I don't like how their fans are. Right? I don't like their fans, but I do love how their fans are towards their team. Now, if you come in here and you stink it up, they're gonna do exactly what I'll do to our own players. Like they're gonna chew you out, spit you out. Like Ben Simmons, they're gonna get rid of you, right? I like that. But if you come in and you play with heart, like AI, like Brian Dawkins, anybody who come here play with heart. Cox got into an altercation with a dude. He called the cops, said, "I'm gonna shoot this dude." He bust through my door because he was banging this dude's girl, and he came to the door. Uh, Everybody loved him after that. You know why? Because anybody that play with heart, they're gonna love you, and they ain't gonna let nobody do nothing to you. You know what I'm saying? Jalen Hurts, they didn't like Jalen Hurts. They ain't like Jalen Hurts. They all liked Carson Wentz. Jalen Hurts start doing what he was supposed to do as far as especially how tough he played this year and what him and AJ was doing. They love him to death. CJ Gardner that came here, they loved him because he played hard. So we'll have a guy that plays hard, but like he costs too much. They'll cry when he goes. You know what I'm saying? We the only fan base I've seen that does that, and it's weird because the Browns, the Raiders, those teams been sucky for a minute, and the black hole still the black hole. You know what I'm saying? The dog pound still the dog pound, and we ain't got to talk about the Washington what the fucks. You know what I'm saying? They still hard about losing every year. They lose every year. They got a Mark Rippin ass weird quarterback that's like they use quarterbacks how we use like guys like Barr. They'll get a guy that's like they either get a guy that's not good at all, that's young, that's coming out, or they get a quarterback that is past his prime, like a Alex Smith, a guy that's just journeyman that's gonna do something, but you know they ain't doing shit with it. And they fans still love them. You know what I'm saying? Crazy. That's crazy. Cowboys fans are spoiled and weird. Y'all really are. I love this team and I love doing analysis. I can't say that I love most Cowboys fans. I love the fans that come here. because obviously it's some sort of resonance here. Y'all rock me for some reason, but a lot of the fans is crazy. I got fans that's mad at me. I'm a Cowboy YouTuber. They're mad at me for putting a Zeke video up today. Read the comments. And they Cowboy fans. You ain't never seen nobody mad at you ain't never gonna see a Seattle Seahawks fan mad at a Beast Mode video, even though Beast Mode don't even play no more. You ain't never gonna see that. Never. It's crazy, man. Cowboys fans are crazy. I don't get it. You think Eckler wants to leave because of Kellen? That's a good point. I read that, and of course he does. He heard that he got in the first offensive meeting room, and he heard pass, 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 pass. What we want to do is pass, 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 pass. Then he looked at the numbers. He said, "Oh, running backs don't get the ball in the air. I don't see no screen passes. I don't see none. Oh, Zeke passes stats went from 77 catches one year to nothing. Damn. Tony Pollard as a wide receiver in college. He ain't a wide. They don't do no C-Mac shit with him. No. That's interesting. That's interesting. I gotta get up out of here. They will not be running the ball with Eckler. Now go get Eckler. He want to get out of there. I would take Eckler here in a heartbeat. He one of those guys that can do a little bit of both of what our guys do, and he's a tough little SOB. They do. The last few Super Bowls are proof. Man, I'm tired of arguing with you, Davey. You say the same things every time we talk. That's what's Groundhog's Day. You say the same shit every time we talk. These days, as a Cowboy fan, if you love them, let them go. It's the only way they'll find success. Oh, you mean like Travaris Ward? Yeah, I'll give you that. That's funny. All right. JC said I did a fun breakdown on Brillo. I hope he comes through. I hope he comes through, bruh. Yeah, I love Brillo too, man, and I gotta see that. Send that to my DMs. I want to watch it. I did one when he first came out. I haven't done one since. I don't think. Cowboys D. We are sleeping on our young linebackers. Yes, we are. Daniel Jones was snoring. Snoring when? Okay. Oh, you mean he was snoring when Brillo knocked his ass out? He's like to the back cave. He was like, "Would you like that? Would you like to ride with Batman? Would you like that?" They was like, Do you know what city you're in?" I'm scared it's a coaches don't like Cox problem. I don't think so. I know people who actually are around the organization who watch him practice, and they're like, he happy as hell. So I don't think it's a problem there. And Dan Quinn would put him in his rookie year, and he did well. So I don't think you put a guy in and you like what he does, but then he gets injured, and all of a sudden you hate him. I think we had Barr here, who probably had with a guy like Barr who comes here. You don't want to be known as the team that players go to die, their careers go to die, because then you won't get the free agents that you guys are asking for. You feel me? And the reason I say that is if you brought a guy like Barr here and then you said, Barr, you're not going to start over Clark because it's a meritocracy now. And Clark is playing better than you, which he was, right? Or LVE, you're in a contract year, but you really don't need to start over Clark or Cox, for real, for real. We'd rather see with what y'all guys are doing out there, it's good, but we'd rather see what we can get out of these young guys. Unless we were in a point where we needed to rebuild and we were losing, it don't make sense to do that. And once you do that, and Barr now can't put anything on film, nor can LV to be able to go get money on the market, you get a reputation as a team that does that, like the Browns were doing to OBJ, saying OBJ was washed, right? Just a year ago, 2 years ago, OBJ washed because Baker Mayfield was purposely not throwing him the ball. And you can't tell me Kitchens wasn't doing that shit. Because any coach who got any control over his team will say, I don't give a fuck what you feel about that man. Throw him the damn ball. But he wasn't doing it, was he? He was throwing him weird passes, but still trying to win. He was trying to win doing anything other than throw OBJ the ball. Very weird. Very weird. But we watched that happen, right? So you don't want to become that team that has that reputation. So that's why I think those young guys aren't playing. I don't think it's because they don't like the young guys. It was the same with San Fran and Philly, but when San Fran trade for C-Mac, it alleviated their already potent run scheme to another level, elevated. I mean, that's what top running backs can do. Yeah, you're right. A top running back can definitely elevate your scheme. We got one. I think Tony Pollard might be the most talented back in the league. Period. And it's funny that I can't say that a lot because so many people think this is the Tony Pollard versus Zeke show, and it's not. I think Tony Pollard with 10 good snaps per game is so dangerous that he blows games open. And I don't mean 10 good snaps from the backfield. I mean anywhere. Like you factor him into a game plan where you start to create mismatches. They weren't doing that quite enough. Like get him out on linebackers over and over again and on safeties. Safeties can't cover him, neither can a linebacker. And even a corner that's not physical going to have trouble because he really does know how to play receiver. Like I watched this film from Memphis. I'm talking about he can run actual routes, and the dude actually can jump, like jump ball type shit. So that's Tony Pollard's game. Like I'm talking about jump ball, spinning jump ball, back of the end zone, twisting, still get his feet in, both feet. NFL level, in college was doing that. And we don't do none of that here with him. That's like getting Jahmyr Gibbs and running up the middle, I form running style plays with him. That's how dumb our running scheme was. So we have a top running back in Tony Pollard, and I think we still have a running back in Zeke that could give us the stuff that Tony Pollard can't, and be durable enough to deal with it. So I think we already had that, and we also weren't running the ball the right way. Yeah. All right, let me get to these super chats real quick because some people sent me some super chats, but y'all going. I appreciate y'all in the chats too, but y'all going so ham I can't even get to them. Hold up, we got Sadiqa. How are you? I hope you're feeling much better. I do. I feel way better, Sadiqa. Thank you. Appreciate the well wishes. And then we got Rushmer C9. What do you say? Okoye is a far fetched thought, but I think Mike McCarthy and Dak was working on the West Coast offense between the two of them, and that's why Dak took those chances throwing those interceptions. Um, I think those interceptions were because we don't have Cooper doing what. If you watch Amari Cooper film, I did Amari Cooper film. Those routes where he was bracket covered CD Lamb. Those are the things that we were asking Amari Cooper to do that were opening up things everywhere else. Where this offense, again, I was talking about this earlier, where I said the offense when you have extra talented players, you kind of forget that the scheme isn't what's doing it. You know what I'm saying? Although we were number one in offense at times this season, it was because Dak actually understands that offense, or Kellen's offense, to a different degree. But what gave him his rhythm was Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper was a guy that created so much space with some of the routes that he'll run. And he might do it one time, like he might run a post across the middle, deep, just to create a pattern for the defense so that everybody else can work. We were asking CD Lamb to do those things, and he's just not the same level of talent in that way as Amari Cooper. He's not the same level of talent as a route runner. He does other things that Amari won't do too, like his yards after the catch if you give him the ball. Although Amari wasn't half as soft as people try to make it seem. Like when he got the ball, I remember Amari taking some slants to the house too. He's fast as fuck and he can run routes. And he broke some tackles too. So, I mean, got to give him his credit. But CeeDee Lamb was definitely a little more physical when he got the ball in his hands. But I hear you, though. I hear you. I think that more likely they brought Schottenheimer in here to work some of that stuff in with not Dak, but with Cooper Rush. During those games, just look at the season. I've watched it so many times now, I'm kind of tired. But if you look at Cooper Rush during the games where Dak was out, we did not look like the same team. We weren't running the same offense at all. That wasn't Kellen Moore's offense at all. Because we did, if it was, we would have been doing that stuff when Dak got back. And we went from under center back to the spread offense as soon as Dak got back. We didn't do none of that stuff when he was gone. That's what was giving us. But think about it. If we had a better chance to win with a lesser quarterback, and I won't say that Cooper Rush is better than Dak, but he was used better. He was definitely used better. He was. We asked him to do less, and we got more out of the team when we asked them to do less. It's funny that the defense suddenly started sliding when Dak came back because of interceptions. They were on the field too much. We weren't running the ball anymore. But in the beginning of the season, all the way up to probably the Bears game, it was like top five all day. Everybody like, damn, it's a top defense, top defense, top defense. Micah Parsons looked like Michael Jordan. Dorrance Armstrong was like, Scottie Pippen. You know what I'm saying? It was just looking crazy out there. And as soon as that comes back, that starts to slide because we started putting emphasis on scoring, the offense scoring, and not time of possession. That can still be a scorer, but we could take those slow, methodical drives more serious. We did it once. We could beat San Fran. Kellen wants to win. He's like a fighter that wants to win by knockout, trying to fight Bernard Hopkins. You're not gonna knock him out. So if you don't get your point game up, you're gonna lose. And that's what Kellen does. He wants to beat teams like he beat Tampa Bay. He wanted to beat San Fran the same way. When we played San Fran 2 years ago with Cedric Wilson, Sadiqa, you made an interesting point. I'll bring that up in a second about say. But with Cedric Wilson, that drive when Cedric Wilson was like popping, we were under center. The one drive where we were under center, we brought Connor McGovern in the backfield. I think along with Steele, we're in the backfield. That was our most successful drive when we went slow. When we were trying to speed everything up, San Fran was taking that away from us. But when you watch a team, like I'm not a pro coach by any stretch of the imagination. But when I broke down, and you guys go watch it, I broke down how the Packers beat San Fran. They got Aaron Rodgers on their team. They got Aaron Rodgers, and they had Devontae Adams as well at that time, right? That's not how they beat him, though. They beat him by running the ball, even when they didn't get anything. Dillon was getting like a puff of smoke. Jones was getting nothing. And they still ran the ball. They ran the ball more than they threw the ball to run the clock out, shorten the time, shorten the possessions, and elongate their drives and tire that defense out so that they weren't doing what? They weren't hitting Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers was tiring their ass out with the run game. That's what we needed to do. Sadiqa brought up something earlier today when you texted me, and it was a great idea. Cedric Wilson doesn't play for Miami. He don't really get no tick. There's no point in him being over there. She's talking about Cedric Wilson needing to come back home. I actually agree. Like Cedric Wilson being where he is, being in Miami, he was definitely a playmaker here. And Miami it's an idea that a lot of players think that they're going to win in free agency because they're free agents or because a team even decided to pay you. Chemistry matters more than any of that. So where will you make more money? Getting a big check and then going and playing for a team for a year, maybe two, and them not respecting who you are, and you kind of fade to the background like Cedric Wilson didn't elevate his game over there, right? And then just being out the league in a year or two, or taking less money and staying with the chick who brung you and making long. You really make more over time because you might make less money up front, but you're going to play longer. You're going to have a better career, and you're going to have a better post career because after your career is over, you could do things like Ryan Clark. You could do things like Beast Mode and those guys, get into other types of businesses, get in broadcasting and so on because you have been in the league for a while. You got a resume. You can't do that if you're a flash in the pan. So you brought up an interesting point with the Cedric Wilson conversation, and I agree with you. I agree. Exactly. When is the first wave of free agency over? Not sure. Did you see my super chat? Wear your glasses. Yeah, I seen it. I'm so late though. Look at all the comments. Moderator, you the moderator. You supposed to slow them up. They going crazy. 215 Khalil, AKOYE working. Salute my guy. How's the gym coming along? It's coming along good. You guys know how to do. Anybody know how to do epoxy? I gotta epoxy these floors myself. I don't gotta do it myself. I just don't want to spend $4,000 on no epoxy. I would rather do it myself for like 1,200, 2,000, something like that. I did. I sealed my floors and redid like stone tiles in my basement before myself. So I'm like, how hard could it be? You know what I mean? I'm gonna figure it out. But yeah, I saw you, Sadiq. My bad. All right. Why is it teams like the Chiefs, Niners, Saints, etc. can find money to sign guys and we can't? Who do y'all want to sign so bad? Who are the players? They gonna fall from the sky? Who is out there that you want to sign that we need money to sign? Because we got enough money to sign some people, but who makes sense? Tell me. Tell me who. Tell me who. Army, Mom, Heather. You tell me who you want. Tell me who you want. Don't complain. Just tell me what you want. You get what I'm saying? I hope you're right about Jabril. I like his odds to do well. Yep, he's gonna do well. Jay SoCal picks were caused by lack of talent at wide receiver. I can't beat y'all, man. I can't beat y'all to save my life, man. Man, I mean, to a degree, it was like CD wasn't doing what he's supposed to do. The narrative that Amari quit and is lazy irks me bad. It's a lie. We miss him. Why is Mike Fisher continually pushing this? They're saying he wasn't a team player because he didn't get the jabby jab, but they can't say that in the public. Mike Fisher can't come out and say he defied Jerry Jones, so he's not here. Because that's what happened. There's not nothing to do with nothing else. He was not taking the shot, but then was out at games with no mask on. He just was doing what he wanted to do. And he was thinking like our time together is our time together. Our time apart is our time apart. And it don't work that way with Jerry. He's like Jerry he had security guards following Dez for a long time. Des couldn't even go outside by himself. Think we see big personal changes with Mike McCarthy. Big personnel changes with Mike McCarthy changes. I don't get what you mean. I remember his time in Green Bay leveraging a fullback heavily. Oh, okay, I get you. A little less focus on tight end. Lamb in the slot more. Slot more, you might have a point with Lamb. I think Mike McCarthy just deals with the talent that he has. And I think the reason we couldn't hit tight ends was more so because of Aaron Rodgers, not Mike McCarthy. Aaron Rodgers still don't get along with tight ends to this day, do he? Mike McCarthy ain't been there. What tight end has he developed since he left? So that's Aaron Rodgers, not Mike McCarthy. I think Mike McCarthy will throw to the tight end because he would be a fool to not look at Ferguson and Hendershot and say we got to use those guys. So I think Mike McCarthy's more of a guy that likes to use what he has at his disposal. But you are right about the fullback. He does like fullbacks. He had Coombs. Coombs was pretty good. Here we go. Running backs need to be preserved like pitchers, in my opinion. 7 innings, 200 pitches a game, 12 to 15 carries a game, 200-ish carries a year. You are right. I think that when you have a team that can make the playoff, I mean, look at the team. When that's what really happened to the running back position. It wasn't that talent went down. People think that you could just find running back talent anywhere. You can't just find running back talent everywhere, bro. Like that's why they go in. That's why they average 2.5 years in the league. All players, not just running backs. So you can't just go find a Zeke. Like there's a bunch of Zekes out there. No, it's not. It's not. But when you look at the teams, to your point, Dave, that have won a Super Bowl, they've run by committee. When you look at the Patriots, when they had LeGarrette Blunt, I think the Eagles too had LeGarrette Blunt. They had Clemens. They had another guy in there, but they had three backs. You know what I'm saying? Maybe four. Patriots always had Bolden. They had James White. They had Burkhead. They had any other thumper as a back. That was their main back. But then they had a running back room, like four running backs deep all the time. Reason being, you might need to showcase a guy in the playoffs, but you need to keep him fresh for the playoffs. You can't do that without a snap count, but you still need the productivity from the position. So I think we'll see that now. We'll see us using. We didn't even use our third back, and I don't think that was a Jerry said you better give Zeke 20 carries thing. I think it was Kellen. I'm not gonna run the ball anyway enough for Malik Davis to even be relevant because Tony ain't gonna be tired at the same time as Zeke because we never gonna run the ball enough for both those guys to get tired for him to even need to be the spell back to come in there. You know what I'm saying? So you got a point. I like that. Amari was class here. We miss him. Yes, we do. I think that 5 games Dak was out was McCarthy offensive rehearsal. Yeah, and I think that was the end of Kellen Moore for real, and that's why Kellen Moore came out so aggressive because it was the end of Kellen Moore. He came out aggressive when Dak got back because he had to. I got to get to number 1 and I got to reestablish myself because while Dak was out, Jerry got a chance to see. Oh shit, we can win without Dak because of what you're doing, Mike, and because of what Brian and those guys are doing. Oh no, something's wrong here. You know what I'm saying? So Kellen had a fire under his ass after that. And that's the only reason Kellen is gone is because that guy hurt. And we got a chance to see what we could do without a top quarterback with Cooper Rush. And that's why Jerry said at the end of the season, he said, yeah, I'm mad that we lost, but I wouldn't have changed a thing. Because if you'd have told me when Dak went down that we would be having this feeling going into the San Fran game, I would have took that every time if you'd have told me that. And I think all of you guys would too. If you said, hey, Dak goes down for 5 weeks, Zeke goes down for 3 weeks, and we lose to San Fran in a divisional round. Like, how the fuck did we get to we still finished 12-5, top offense, top defense, and we get to the divisional round? You would have said not a chance in hell. For all those people who are saying, y'all talk like we were like the bottom of the league in talent. Because y'all like, we do need to make splashes. We do need to make splashes. We need this. We need that. We was a top team on both sides of the ball in the league. We were only outpaced by the Eagles. By the Eagles in the NFC, for real. And the reason being is because the Eagles have a identity. That was the only difference between us and the Eagles. There's an identity. And they were doing the things that you guys were talking about during the season, though. Not before. They didn't sign Ndamukong Suh. Now, nobody will. They didn't sign because you want him fresh, too. You want to let him chill. Let him go home and chill. Sign him in the middle of the season. They didn't sign no Linval Joseph. Nah? Y'all remember that? No. Y'all remember that, do you? So it's like they went and got AJ. That's one thing you do go get. You go get, if you're going to get a wide receiver, you get him early because you want chemistry between him and the quarterback. But there has to be a wide receiver that makes sense here. I don't got a problem with going to get one. I don't have a problem with us going to go get OBJ. I said that already. I don't want OBJ at 20 mil, but I do want OBJ. Get what I'm saying? So there you go. Cal Cornett simultaneously making our offense better and sabotaging the Chargers by firing Moore is the best move anyone will make all offseason. That's actually true, bro. Yeah, you got a point. Thanks, Rush Mercy. He's got a new member in Rushmer Mercy 9. Appreciate that, good brother. Yeah, I hope you like it here. They were fresh. That's what running the ball does. Yeah. I don't know which comment you commenting on, Special K, but I know you make sense most of the time. Kellen Moore didn't fit here. No, he did not. He was a square peg in a triangle hole. Jay Solo, against good teams, the ball may come out late because of the defensive coordinator confusing the offense. That happens too. Yes, you're right. It's Rush Merc 9. My bad. I was saying Rush Merc C. I thought you was like just running out of room. My bad. Stephen White, what's up, bro? Jamion Kyle, he said, what a joke. That's the best we can do. Damn. See what I'm saying about Cowboy fans? Was that what you was saying when he was playing here? Said balled out when he was here. What a joke. I want to go to your fucking telemarketing job or your VP job, wherever you at, man. And I want to read the emails or whatever it is that you do at a high level. I want to see the carpentry or the electrician work or the plumber work. I'm going to be like, PVC piping. What a joke. Is that the best you could do? Yo, uneven primer. Is that the best you could do? What a joke. Y'all be talking crazy reckless, man. Like, y'all be talking reckless. Now, Cedric Wilson a bum because he went to Miami. That's, see what I'm saying? You better stay with the team you was on so you can actually develop into something. You're like Alvin Harper. what a joke. That's the best we can do. Scottie Pippen. You know Michael Jordan. Y'all motherfuckers crazy, man. Yo, I'm for real, man. Y'all really gotta be laughing out here, man, because y'all mean as fuck, man. I never seen such an angry group of winners in my life. Y'all went 12-5 2 years in a row, man. Crazy, man. Crazy. Out of pocket, man. I never seen nothing like it. Ah, man. All right, here we go. He said, go get Jerry Judy. I would. D Hop. Diggs. Okay. Guard. Sean Mason. Got you. Bobby Wagner. Agreed. RZ Shahir. Shire. Cool. CB. We could have traded a third round for Ramsey, but we don't do that. I already talked about why we didn't do the Ramsey move, but I get you. Jerry Judy is the only one on that list that I would go after because he's the only one that's not going to ask us for the bank. I think Diggs is going to come here and want more money. If he wants to play with his brother and he takes less, cool. I think D Hop is good, but D Hop's a guy that's like Indomitium, so he's a guy that we can go get later. We don't got to get him now. Boom, boom. Yeah, I want OBJ and Wagner, man. Yeah, I want them. Okoye, you don't want OBJ or Wagner? Yes, yes, I do. But why do you think that I don't want those guys? I don't get it. Because I'm not complaining that we don't have them. It's a difference between wanting a player and feeling like you need a player. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like we have to jump out the bank and pay 20 mil for OBJ. Would I like it? Yeah, I think OBJ and Dak would make a great combination. Wagner, I already said Wagner, I think is a missing piece to this defense. He would make this defense instantly better. But I also have faith in some of our guys. Like I don't think I think if you put Micah Parsons at middle linebacker, I don't think Wagner is better than Micah Parsons at middle linebacker. So I think we have a middle linebacker on this team who is better than Bobby Wagner and Micah Parsons right now. But would Wagner help us? I thought Barr would help us. So of course. All right, here we go. Judy is often hurt. Diggs and D Hop heading towards a wide receiver cliff. Hey, don't tell them. Don't tell them that. Okoye, how do we match up against San Fran right now? I think I already said that. I already said that. Arizona can have a second round pick for D Hop. I like D Hop, but like I said, I don't want to break the bank for D Hop. I like him. I think D Hop is not a he don't got that speed I want. I want speed at wide receiver right now. He is a dog though, but I want speed. Apparently that was fake. Now, if that is fake and he doesn't want 20 mil, you can go get you OBJ. But I think we got a good rapport with OBJ already. I think Jerry Jones already said that conversation is still open. So, I think right now OBJ is probably what's holding that up. He wants to see what's out there on the market as he should, and he's starting to run again. So now that he's starting to run, he wants to see who picks up the phone and calls him. And if nobody does, I think we're gonna get dibs on that. Judy not getting traded. You want to bet they're not going to trade Russell Wilson's weapons away. Sutton probably not. Not Jerry. They're not going to get rid of neither one. When you look at Sean Payton going to revive both of those guys' career. Like that's what he does. Two lockdown CBs would be great. But why you think we don't got him? You don't think Bland can be a number two guy? I think Bland already showed that he could play inside or outside quite well. I like Bland a lot. Um, and he's a ball hawk. And I also like McConnell. So when I say we don't need one, but Ramsey would have been great. Don't get me twisted though. Ramsey would have been great to get him. I just thought it would be chemistry issue as far as the pay, because you're gonna have to pay Diggs and Ramsey at the same time. That's hard to do when we already talking about big name free agents like Wilson that's not gonna get signed. So if you brought Ramsey in and you let Wilson go, and Wilson was like one of the heart and souls of the defense, that's a chemistry issue. People will have a issue with that. You do know that. Like, not saying you don't do it anyway. It's business, but still, that's a problem. Okay, CD a nice third receiver. Yes, he is. I love CD back too. He said, CD, what a joke. I said, damn, y'all crazy, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, that was funny, man. Uh, no, I'm saying that because all the talk was something big like Diggs. Oh, okay, I get what you're saying now. You saying because they saying something big was going to happen? Well, you think those things happen overnight, though, bro? If you look at the moves we made, we restructured 3 players since he said that, since the combine. He said that at the combine, and that's only a week ago. We restructured 3 players to free up 22 mil, and when he said it, we was negative 7 mil. We done freed up 37 mil in cap space and franchise tag. Um, TP names, man. Damn, I'll be losing them. Yeah, but we making room for a reason. There's gonna be some, but even when we make that room, of course, some of the and then we also I think we'll restructure Zeke or cut him. But we will go grab players from our internal players. I think everybody other than Donovan Wilson probably will come back because of the type of money we got. We don't got a lot of money. So we might go get Hankins and Carlos Watkins and Fowler back because we could probably get all 3 of those guys for the price of one Donald Wilson. And that's what you got to ask yourself. Do we need those 3? Or do we need Donald Wilson more than we need those 3? Can you go find you another Fowler somewhere? A fast guy that's long that can pass rush. I like Fowler, but he's replaceable. Can you go find you a Carlos Watkins and a Hankins? Big bodies ain't easy to come by. I like a big body guy that knows our scheme that plays well. Not that you can't replace him in the draft with a guy like Mozzie, but we thought we were replacing guys with Bohanna. I like Bohanna too, but he was kind of injured a little bit. So the more the merrier when it comes to big defensive tackles that can play. I think that makes our defense better than just one dono. But it just depends on what you want to do with your money. But we're freeing that money up to sign some internal guys, and then I think to go make the splash and have flexibility to make the splash we want to make. And I think it's smart to do it post draft because if you just outkick your coverage in the draft and you get yourself some players that you didn't expect to get, then you can make some different decisions. You know what I'm saying? You don't know who's gonna fall to us at 26. And you can't tell me that if in the first 2 rounds you get a guy like Zay Flowers somewhere in there, you're not happy at wide receiver all of a sudden. Now, do you still need a guy? But how great does that guy need to be now? You know what I'm saying? So those things change things, offensively and defensively too. He said Kalijah Cansey is nice. Not for us, he not. Not for us. Nope. And I will put the film out for you. I did the Jalen Carter film. Everybody talked about Jalen Carter. Kalijah Cansey is another guy that's like because he ran well, because he tests well, he's gonna get money. But I see Osa being a guy that's going to keep him off the field along with Chauncey. Osa's probably a B player, a B player, good solid B, C minus, a C plus on a bad day, but solid B player because of the amount of snaps he gets. Cansey, I don't see Cansey coming in and being so much better than Osa that Osa doesn't see the field. So why would we go get him? And he's smaller than Osa. Osa already has trouble getting because he's smaller. And the way he plays so physical, but he's not super big, but he plays bigger than he is. He's 6'2", 285. Kalijah Cansey is 6 foot, 280. He's not big. And in the NFL, as vicious as he is, although he's vicious at getting upfield, we don't have a Rob Marinelli upfield scheme here. So where would you put him? Where would you play him? Here. He's nice, but where would you play him? Same thing goes for Jalen Carter. Where would you put him here? He's another he's Tristan Hill slash Boss Man 2.0. Jalen Carter is. Kalaji Kancey is a Osa 2.0. I like him. He's faster than Osa, but I don't think he's a guy that we need. Like, I wouldn't go high to go get him at all. Not here. Wouldn't make no sense. Y'all forget our defense was good without guys like that, right? So to get better, what was our problem? Our problem was setting the edge or keeping contained. So another defensive end would be nice. Nolan Smith, if he's around, or another stout defensive tackle would be nice. And if you could find you a linebacker that falls to you in the second round, that's a developmental guy like a Drew Sanders. You get a Drew Sanders who is the same phenotype as a LVE, then LVE suddenly becomes expendable very quick. You forget about LVE. You got another guy that's 6'5", 230, 240, can run, can play linebacker, and also can shed blocks very easily because of his time at defensive end. That would change some things quickly. So those are the three ways you change the defense. And you go get you a corner. But it's some corners in the draft that we can rock with. We kind of deep there. I agree about one tackle and middle linebacker. One tech and middle linebacker. Clear as day, we need a CB2. A couple of guys I liked at CB already gone. Clear as day, DP. Why y'all disrespecting Bland like that? I don't get it. I like Bland. Y'all don't like Bland? At CB2? I like Bland. I think Bland can be that guy. Maybe not though. Maybe y'all feel different. Because we got Jordan Lewis coming back to play nickel. And I like Izzy McCrumwell nickel better than all of them, better than Bland even. As far as his physicality, his coverage ability, he was just a blanket. But I don't think he's going to play there. But anyway, I still do think we need a corner to bring into the room and let them fight for the second and third position. But I don't think we have a hole that we thought we had last year. We had a hole last year because we didn't use Izzy McCrumwell until the Tampa Bay game. We should have did it earlier. We would have had no problems. He said, man, some clowns on Jeff's page tried to say LV was better than Wagner. Woo. I'm going to let you say it. I'm going to just let y'all read that. Damn. They were all in a coma in the 80s. Know nothing about struggling. Oh, you know about struggling because in the 80s before Jerry Jones took over, the Cowboys was looking bleak. Hopkins. Oh, y'all want Hopkins? Okay. I don't get mad when people say they want Hopkins, but that's not a free agent. That's a trade. Diggs is a trade. You know what I'm saying? Jared Judy is a trade. So you do realize somebody else got to want to dance with you and not want to kind of take you to the rails on those trades as well. Trades are very rarely even trades. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's going to lose. And we already seem to have been losing quite a bit on our trades. We got what they get from Mari Cooper. 5th round, 7th round, something like that. You know what I'm saying? So come on. Nah, those are trades. Free agent, the only free agent out there, it seems to be, is OBJ. Give me another one. A free agent that y'all want to go buy and pay to play here. Y'all talking about we freed up money to go make a splash. It wasn't for trades. Those are picks and people and then money. That's a lot to give up for a player. So guys that are already available sitting on the bench or sitting on the free agency waiver wire, other than Bobby Wagner and OBJ, who I told you already, we took those away. The rest are trades. What are we talking? Who? Because y'all keep giving me names that are playing for other teams already. That don't count. What's to say? See, here we go with the speculation. What's to say D-Hop and Jerry Judy doesn't get traded soon? If we make moves, make them now. Massive action. What better time than now, Quid? I like to read your comments in my villain voice. I don't know why. Don't ask me. Sam G. Wagner, yes. OBJ, nah. I feel you. But again, those are trades that you said, Davey. That means somebody else got to want to play with you. Fans picky. Any linebacker better than LV should be a target, and wide receiver and wide receiver better than Nolan Brown can come on down. Yeah, a wide receiver better than Noah Brown would be fine, but where they at? Don't disrespect Noah though. Noah when Dak was out, Noah was the man. Y'all can't hate on him. Someone called into Vox show talking about being tired of 8-8, 8-8, 8-8. It's like, sir, we fired Jason Garrett years ago. We don't go 8-8 anymore. We are a 12-5 team complaining like a 3 and was it? I don't know, 3-14. It's 17 games now. Like we 3-14. Like it's crazy. That's crazy. I would have liked Hargrove at defensive tackle. 49ers grabbed him in free agency. Um, I wouldn't have liked Hargrove either. Hargrove, you know why Hargrove is another Jalen Carter. He's a guy that can get upfield, but against the run, he gotta destroy his guy with quickness, or it's not gonna happen. That's why you needed it. That's why they went and got Ndamukong Suh and Joseph, because they needed people who could just destroy the man that's in front of them and not have to go around them and play no games. And Fletcher Cox was getting kind of old in the tooth, and Jordan Davis got hurt. So it was like Hargrove, you want him to be your only guy? No, he wasn't that guy. I don't want that guy here. We got a guy here who can run around you if we need him to, but both of them are just as violent, more violent. They're just as violent as an Ndamukong Suh. They're violent. Chauncey Golston is violent when you watch his film. Like he's ripping dudes' faces. Like you know that Chauncey Golston was lined up in front of you when he lines up. Although he don't line up that much, he beats the shit out of people in front of him. Even if he don't get past them, he jack you up. And so do Osa. So does Hankins. So does Carlos Watkins. So does Bohanna. That's all I want in there. I don't want no upfield finesse guys in there. D Law will jack you up. Dorrance Armstrong will jack you up. That's the only thing I want here. Fowler will even jack you up, but he fast. You know what I'm saying? Sam Williams will jack you up. That's all I want here. If you're not violent, I don't want you on my defensive line. If I watch you and you can't, like if somebody can hold you as a offensive lineman, that means you're not trying to break his arm. That means you're not violent enough. To me, that's what I want. And you can't hold none of our guys. You can try. When you see when they hold Michael Parsons is taking grown men and just taking them and jackknifing them off of them, like suplexing dudes. I want violence, man. I want violence. I don't care. I don't want no finesse players here. So when y'all bring up finesse defensive tackles, who wants somebody that's soft in the interior of our team? We just saw that enough. I wouldn't even want Aaron Donald, bro. Y'all know I'm gonna sound crazy. Aaron Donald versus the run. The way you beat Aaron Donald is by running at him because he's trying to get upfield to get sacks. We already was number 3 in sacks. We don't need an interior defensive pass rusher, no matter how great you are at it. That's why I'll say no to Cansey. That's why I say no to Jalen Carter because we don't need it. Even if you get us some sacks, we weren't struggling in the sack department. We were struggling in the run stuffing department. I don't care if you can sack. Give me a Jordan Davis type over a Jalen Carter type. And guarantee Jalen Carter gonna go higher than Jordan Davis did, probably. But Jordan Davis is the better player overall to me. Because he can destroy the A gap. He controls the A gap, which makes everybody else around him infinitely better. That's what I like. All right. Y'all going in. Let me try to get. I'm skipping some of y'all. I'm sorry, man. Y'all. Bland played outside all off season, and because J. Lou got hurt, he played. He can. He can't play either. I think that's. He can play either. Is what you mean? Yeah, he can, man. Bland might be our best cornerback. There you go. He can tackle way better than Diggs, and he's not as good a ball hawk, but good enough. So I like our cornerback room. I just think we need to get deeper. And then y'all saying that Kelvin Joseph's not finished. He's not. I think he needs to show us something this year. But you go get insurance for him and Nashon Wright. If they don't make a jump this season, because this is their season to jump, since we're talking about jumping. If they don't make a jump this season, and you remember that Brandon Browner and what's his name? his name? Damn, see, what the hell is his name? How you forget his name? Richard Sherman. Both those guys were like, same kind of situation. Second, third round picks, later round picks anyway. And they got their shot, after Trufant, and I think other guys went down. They got their shot. But they jumped, If Nahshon and Kelvin Joseph don't jump to a point where they're actually fighting for starting time, you draft you one or two guys that can definitely push them off a ledge. You know what I mean? But I think that Kelvin Joseph is a type, he'll go somewhere where if he doesn't gel well with a Dan Quinn, I don't see where you can go, because Dan Quinn is the consummate teacher and he's a man's man, and he gonna hold you accountable, right? I don't think he goes somewhere where you could be a little more reckless. He might play more in a team that's looser. He might play better, but I think he'll fizzle out. So if he can't catch on here, I don't think Kelvin Joseph's going to catch on anywhere. Mozzie, a monster. At least you know it. Mozzie is, I don't know who's doing. I think a lot of scouts are so scared to be way wrong that they wind up following what other scouts who are known are doing. Because I read the scouting report on Jalen Carter. He got an 87 grade by everyone. And I said, well, but then they said in the comments, he ran out of gas against Ohio State and didn't play well against Ohio State, which you saw on film. I said, well, how you watch that film and then you watch Mozzie's film and you say that this guy is playing better than the guy wearing 58? I don't know the guys. See, that's why I know I'm not wrong, and I'm not trying to be a know-it-all either. I don't know any of the players' names. Y'all ask me who guys are, I gotta go look them up. And then when I'm watching the film, I'm like, okay, I might be watching the film on the guy y'all tell me about, and I see somebody else. I'm like, that dude over there, he that bull. You can't block him, or you can't do nothing. Who is that? You know what I'm saying? Because he keep making plays. Y'all know y'all was Trent Simpson, I think his name is. Everybody's talking about him. I was watching this film, and I'm like, he can't get off a block to save his life. He's a guy like he's the linebacker version of Jalen Carter, or a faster version of LVE. He's a slasher, but if you get your hands on him, he ain't about nothing. He don't know how to get rid of a guy at all. He's just a fast linebacker. That's why I haven't done his film yet. And y'all be coming at me when I don't do certain people's film. Like they said, Jalen Carter, they was calling his name. I had his film for a minute. I don't put it out because it's shady. To me, I'm like, these kids trying to get money. And although now I'm like, I might as well put them out because nobody watch them anyway. but if they were to go viral, I'm like, damn, it'd be bad for him, because why would I put the snuff piece out? I didn't do that to Connor Williams for a minute. Like snuff pieces, because Jalen Carter does not look good on film unless he's playing against a shoddy offensive lineman. Like if he's playing against anybody good, strong anyway, they wash his ass every time. You know what I mean? So I don't know how you watch the Mozzie film and watch Jalen Carter and say Jalen Carter better. Like y'all crazy out your mind. I like Watkins and Hankins. Love Mozzie Smith in the second, but I'd be okay at 26 for what he will mean to the defense. I love him in the second too, but Vach taught me this philosophy. If you overreach in the first round and you think that you overreach because you got a guy like I think it was Connor Williams we had, and it was like reverse these picks. Would you be okay with this guy that you got in the first and the second, and the guy that you got in the second and the first? And I was like, yeah, I think it was even CeeDee Lamb and Trayvon Diggs. As long as my first two picks, our first three picks, I'm happy with. I don't care what order they come in, as long as I'm happy with the players that we got in the first three rounds. Sam Williams is a first round talent, easy. So y'all telling me Sam Williams is a second round defensive end based on what he put on film this year and other defensive ends? And I'm thinking, who was Walker was coming in that draft? I think was it Walker from that went to, yeah, Walker was a beast that went to Jacksonville. Who else? It was some other ones, but you can't tell me Sam Williams can't. He couldn't have been up there with those guys had he not been in trouble. You know what I mean? So I wasn't mad about the Sam Williams pick either. Nobody likes Sam Williams. I was like, damn, how ain't nobody hype about this pick? Because they don't watch the film. I'm like, I'm watching this dude, and I'm watching. I said, this guy got 11 and a half sacks with a three-man line. And I'm not talking about a 3-4 three-man line. I'm talking about they rushed three in Ole Miss most of the time. So Sam Williams taught me a couple things. And one, he could stop the run by two gapping at 270. He's bigger than D-Law was when D-Law came out of college, and look what D-Law does now. So Sam Williams' playing weight is probably going to be somewhere like 280, and he runs a 4.4 and can two gap and can get upfield and is evil and can bench press through the roof. And y'all don't like this guy? How? And got 11 and a half sacks while two gapping. You can't, that's not normal shit. You got to watch the film to see it, though. And you'll see why, like, Aiden Hutchinson is not better than him. To me, y'all crazy. Aiden Hutchinson, nice, though. But he not that guy. Aiden Hutchinson, you know who he had? You know who him and David, was it Njoku, whatever his name is? Not Njoku, Njabu. Oh, I don't know his name. Sorry, David, that played for Michigan last year, who tore his Achilles. You know who they had in the middle of the field making their job easy? Mozzie Smith. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, you know what I mean? Y'all can argue with me, but I ain't wrong. What position should we go after in free agency to help the draft best player available at 26? I think if you absolutely wanted to make sure you're not jumping at 26, you got to sign OBJ. That's it. Sign OBJ, but try to get it for like 14, 15 mil if you can. I wouldn't do it at 20. I don't like it at 20. But if you signed OBJ right now, you don't need a wide receiver. You can go do whatever you want. So yeah, that would be it. I think with Connor McGovern just signed with the Bills for 3 years, 23 mil, something like that. 2 years, 23 mil, somewhere in there. I don't somewhere in there. But Connor McGovern going makes it so that we know now that Tyler Smith is probably going to be left guard this year. Tyron Smith is probably going to be left tackle. You got Biadasz, who took a step forward, going to be center. You got Zach Martin, and you got Steele. Our offensive line, we could take a flyer on a guy like Voorhees in the second round, third round, who's hurt. Or we can go grab one later, because I think our offensive line starting out is okay. And then our offensive line philosophy is definitely going to be different and more aggressive this year too. So because of Mike Scolari, if you watch his film, he's a throwback, and he has like 30 something, or I don't even know how many years of football he got, like 35 years. He's been coaching as long as I'm been alive, and been doing it at this level. So I think Scolari is definitely going to be a guy that's going to make these guys more aggressive. So I think that would be the pick, OBJ. And then on defense, if you were to say one pick on defense that makes so that you don't jump out there, it would be Wagner. Yeah. Because Wagner will force Micah Parsons. First off, Wagner and Parsons ever playing side by side is like, shit. Even if you don't go get a defensive end. Wagner and Parsons side by side? Sheesh. That's crazy. You cannot run the ball, especially if they got two stout guys in front of them. You're not running the ball, bro. Now, that would be a progress stopper for Cox and Clark. But Wagner and Parsons, side by side in the middle, and then you go re-sign a guy like a Fowler, or you just run with Dorrance, Sam Williams, D-Law, and a drafted rookie. And then rotate Micah Parsons in out there. Damn. That would be sick. That would make it so you can do whatever you want to defensively. I don't think we got to jump out the window at corner. We're going to get a corner. We always do. We're going to get a good corner. There's a lot of them out there. Darius Rush is a guy that you can get in the third round, who I like. Ran a 4.3, 6'2". He's a lot like a Bland. They say he tightened the hips, but I watched that Southern Cal film. I'm like, young boy look all right. He look good. I like him. He look good. So I only go by the film. I go by the film, and then I'll read the scout report just to see if the scouts actually doing their job. And when I don't see what they're talking about on film, I watch another game, because I said maybe I'm watching the good game, or maybe I'm watching the worst game, depending on what they're saying. Then I watch another game, and I'm like, no, there's no way that you wrote this down for this kid right here, other than watching like broadcast footage. How did you write this down for this kid? Or maybe you visited with him and you like him or something, or you like his mama. Because I don't know, certain guys, I'm like, what are they talking about? What are you grading off? They like Ika. Y'all know everybody like Ika. Do y'all hear me saying anything about Ika? I got Ika film too. He is a refrigerator. You can't move him, but he's slow as trash truck juice, and he don't got a high motor, and he lazy. He don't run to plays. He don't follow plays. Now on broadcast, you might see the plays that he makes, which is like, damn, he made 3 plays this game. But are you watching what he's doing when he's not making those 3 plays? I gotta watch it because I gotta watch the 40 minutes of film to get all his footage anyway. So I gotta watch what he do every play to see. Okay, I want that play. Okay, I need that play. I need that play. I need that play. I need that play. So I gotta watch all of it. Y'all get to watch the broadcast, just the sacks or just the tackles for loss. I watch what you're doing when you ain't doing that. And when you loafing the rest of the time, you lose points when I'm watching you. I don't care what your name is. Like, that's facts. Like, period. And that ain't me being superior. That's me being bored having to watch this shit. So if you make me watch some bullshit film, you're gonna hear about it. And I'm not gonna co-sign you because somebody else wrote something nice in no damn scouting report, man. What about Kalijah Cansey instead of Mossy? Oh, you almost threw up in my mouth, bruh. You are crazy. It's been a long time since we had a pass rushing DT. Why does the third ranked pass rushing team need a pass rushing DT? And that's a lie, because Chauncey can definitely rush the passer from the 3 tech, and so can Osa Odigizua. Osa is just not asked to get upfield. Y'all got to realize what two gapping is. Two gapping, you know why we had so many defensive holding calls? Because when you two gap, you grab a guy. Sometimes you grab 2 guys and you look in the backfield. And you got to be so good at that you can hold 2 guys, not get pushed off the ball, and then get rid of those guys or slow those guys up enough so them not to get to the second level, so your linebackers can flow to the football on the edges or in the middle, right? So we run a 2 gapping scheme. You 2 gap, and then you get rid of your guy and go get the football. Mozzie does that. A guy that just shoots up the field, you know why we were getting run on the years where y'all hated us, right? A couple years ago under Rob Marinelli. You know why they hated you? You know why y'all hated them? Because we had guys who could get upfield, like a Tristan Hill, like a Malik Collins. They could get upfield. They were good pass rushers, but they left a gaping hole right behind them. And running backs would get past that one move. They would slip that one tackle, and they run right through your gap that you just ran through. And now the integrity of your line is gone. It's the same thing that they're doing to, like I said, Aaron Donald. They run right at him because he's going to shoot upfield. And if you could just steer him, you just let him upfield. Let him upfield and steer him where you want him to go and run right into his gap. He's going to be open as there all day. And if you don't got a Bobby Wagner behind you like he did to erase that, that's going to be a problem. But even they had Bobby Wagner. And what did we do with Tony Pollard that same way? Well, you ran, and Zeke. Zeke actually ran good against him too. But Tony Pollard destroyed them for that same reason. So schematically, that don't make no sense, bro. We don't need no pass rusher at defensive tackle. We don't. And then I think Osa was he was on track to get like 5 sacks. If you give me 5 sacks as a defensive tackle, I'm cool with that. Give me tackles for losses. That's what I'm counting. Tackles for losses are sacks. Somebody said this in the last live, and it's true. Tackles for losses are sacks. So give me tackles for losses. So give me a defensive tackle that you can't run on. Give me that. Give me that. That's what I want. I don't care about no damn. I don't care about no damn pass rushing defensive tackle that can't hold up against the run. What the hell we need that for? Cansey is a taco. Well, maybe. I ain't gonna say that. He might not be a bust. He's just not gonna be good here. He better land on the team. He need to be a 3-4 defensive end and play like JJ Watt, where he's a pass rusher, but also a physical guy. Because he's not an edge guy, and he's not a 3 tech that can stop the run. He's a guy that you want as like that Casey Hampton type of guy, where it's like he can tear somebody up and he can get upfield when he need to, but he's not a 2 gapper. He uses his burst to get upfield. But good offensive linemen are just going to let him go. Like all Tyron Smith would do to him. All Zach Martin was just stonewalling because he ain't gonna be able to deal with Zach Martin. But he couldn't even deal with Connor McGovern as far as power. Connor McGovern, if he get his hands on you, he got you. And Biadasz too. He could deal with it with his speed, but not his power. But all they would do to him is hit him in the back and let him go upfield. That's what I'm saying. They'll screen pass on him all day. They will steer him up the field all day. He's not that guy, man. They said Mozzie is a 3rd round guy. I hope so. If he's there in the second round, you take him. But if he's there in the third too, I would love that. I would love it. I mean, Mozzie was a fifth round projected pick. That is better to me than Jalen Carter. So if he makes it to the third round, which he probably will, cool with that. But I look at him like I got him graded very high because of his unique abilities. The dude can bench press 325. Remember, I said 325. He can bench press 325 22 times. He can bench press 225 35 times. And he has a 40-inch vertical at 340 pounds. And he runs, I don't know what the fuck his time is, but I watched him chase CJ Stroud down like nothing. So he is fast and has a high motor. And guess what? His snap count, he didn't even get out the game. He wasn't getting out the game. It was very rare that they spelled him. They spelled Jalen Carter almost every other drive. And at the end of drives, it was spelling him against the same team. And as far as corrupting the pass lanes, no, Jalen Carter did not affect the pass. He got some pressures, but he wasn't. Those weren't even incomplete passes. Like when he get his pressure, dude either spill out, or run for a first down, or throw for one. Why are you running in his face? They wasn't doing that to Mozzie. Mozzie nasty, man. Been a fan since '66. Damn. Zay Flowers will be still at 26, but Dallas don't like small receivers. I think those days are over where you can say what Dallas like or don't like. Dallas also didn't like coaches that actually were worth a damn. We got two of them, three of them. You know what I'm saying? Dallas also didn't allow his coaches before to get the players that they want. Dan Quinn brought Tack McKinley here. He brought Dante Fowler here. He brought KZ here. Dan Quinn's been bringing guys here that we like, hasn't he? That are from his old regime, hasn't he? Because they're obviously listening to somebody now. That ain't Dallas style. You know what I'm saying? Mike McCarthy, too. They both been bringing guys here that they like. So Dallas is not the same as before. We going to miss Connor McGovern. Yeah, I like Connor McGovern. It's too bad you can't do a tribute video for lineman. Really love Wilson. I mean, really. He's the attitude, the where's he at guy. Yep. But we got that Bell guy. He might have played his. Oh, you talking about Donald Wilson? Oh yeah, I thought you were talking about Cedric Wilson. He might have played his way out of Dallas. Yeah, yeah. Donald's probably gone. Donald don't look real either. Y'all ever seen like Pan's Labyrinth or like Hellboy or any of those movies? Look at Donald Wilson's picture and just think about Hellboy are those prosthetic face movies from Guillermo del Toro, like Pan's Labyrinth and Hellboy. Those are Guillermo del Toro movies. Just go look at them. Or look at Legend with Tom Cruise for those '80s babies. He looked like those dudes, man. Like Donald Wilson's face is just big as shit, and he just don't look like a real person. I'm like, this boy head is swole. Like he don't look like a real human being. Like it's somebody behind his face. It's crazy. But he hit you. He knock your face clean off. He's a vicious bull. I don't care what round we get him either. I just want him. Yeah, Mozzie Smith. Sanders too light in the ass to bang between the tackles. What do you mean, Drew Sanders? No, Drew Sanders. Sanders is nice. Drew Sanders is nice. Who's Sanders you talking about? What Sanders you talking about, bro? Jack Campbell, middle linebacker, 6'5". I think you mean 250, not 350. He ain't 350 at the middle linebacker. Yeah, but I know what you mean. He said, "Oh man, you mentioned him as soon as I was typing. Who? Who? Fred? I don't know who you was about to say. Who would I mention? I like Bland. I don't think a second wave free agent won't hurt either. Um, yeah, yeah. No, we could use a CB, but do we need to jump out the window at the corner? I'm like, no. I think Izzy needs a shot at CB2, but want a vet CB2 to help groom the room. Yeah, it would be a young ass room with Trayvon leading the room. That's true. But Izzy, Izzy at CB2 and Bland in the slot is fine with me. Izzy in the slot. Izzy is freak. He a freak. Y'all don't know how good that is. Like Tom Brady's best target, it was Godwin, whatever, for a minute. Izzy shut him down. Like shut him down. Him and Dono was smacking him in his face too. But Izzy was all over that dude, and Goodwin or Godwin is a burner, and he could not burn Izzy. That's crazy. And Izzy is, well, you gotta remember Izzy played corner in college. He didn't play safety, so he's a corner with a safety's body. I like Izzy a lot at CB2 too, um, but that was one game. So I would have to see more. But I think that he's showed that he doesn't have to be a safety. Izzy is a guy that he could be your chess piece where you can just have him do whatever you want him to do today. If he needs to spell a safety, he could spell some safeties if he needs to. If he needs to spell the slot guy, if he's hurt, he could do that. If you want him to play CB2, cool. But if you just solidified him, like if somebody else took him off their team, he would be another Travaris Ward. He'd be a guy that would go to another team, and that team would be elevated at the cornerback position immediately. Because Izzy's skills is just he got too many skills. He's a guy that can play any spot on the secondary. The nickel, CB1 or 2. I'm not saying he'd be the best CB1 or 2, but he'd be playing it at a high enough level. Nickel, either safety position. So you want to play him single high over the top. He got the speed and the range and the length and the jumping ability. You want him to play in the box, he can hit, he can shed, and he can guard the tight end like nobody's business. So anywhere you want Izzy, he can play. So Izzy's a guy that makes it sort of like you ain't starving if you got Curse and Hooker at safety, and you got Marquise Bell here too. You ain't starving when you push Izzy out to corner. We ain't starving at corner. And then you got the two young guys that we kind of like taking a flyer on in CJ. I mean, not CJ. Uh, Boss Man, Kelvin, and um, Wright. Yeah. First round O line, first round, please. I wouldn't mind as long as he a killer. A lot of misinformed fans. Uh, I don't know what you mean though, Louis. What's up, Louis? Then Trey, who is the playmaker? Let's get down to the nitty gritty. Then if we are not getting OBJ, D Hop, DJ Shark, who is the playmaker? Let's cut straight to the chase. I don't know. I don't know, bro. Your guess is as good as mine. Maybe Isaac Taylor Stewart can play. Y'all talking crazy. Lazard. Lazard a free agent? I like Lazard though. Lazard, big boy though. That's not a speedster. If I was gonna go get Lazard, I would go get D Hop. D Hop. I think D Hop better. But Lazard is a body though. That boy, big body receiver. Fred said, "Who is your top 3 to 5 first round targets in your eyes?" In no particular order. Well, no, it is in order because this one guy I don't think is a first round pick for anybody. But I wouldn't be mad if we just jumped up to snatch him because I think he's an early second sleeper, late second sleeper, and I don't know if we'll have the room in the second round to get him. So Mozzie, if Mozzie was there at 26, I wouldn't hate it because I want him on the team. But he's the one guy that I would say he's last, the last first round pick I would think of. But Zay Flowers, Joey Porter Jr., if he was there for whatever dumb reason, Nolan Smith, if he was there, those are the 3 that I really want that I would take in the first round. And then Devin Weatherspoon. Those 4 players in the first round. After that, I don't really care. Devin Weatherspoon is so good in the slot and with his eyes. Even though he's 6'2", 280, I think he'll be 6'2", 290 in his playing weight in his career. He already lean and he mean like Devin Weatherspoon. Well, Bland can hit too, but Devin Weatherspoon hit like Antoine Wilfield Sr., man. He will put a hole in your face. He a bullet. But those 5 players I love. Those are 5 players in the draft that if we get 3 of them, I'm happy with whatever else happens in the draft. And that's Mozzie Smith, whatever round you get him, Zay Flowers, Nolan Smith, um, Devin Weatherspoon, and Joey Porter. If we were to get 2 of those guys, I would be happy as shit. I like all 5. We have no cap space because we overpay average players and don't cut guys past their prime, aka Zeke, etc. There's another shot at Zeke. There we go. I don't think so. We cut guys past their prime all the time. Why you think that I'm here? We cut Dez, didn't we? Wasn't he past his prime? Yeah. They should go after Brandon Cooks again. He doesn't want to be in Houston. Again, somebody else got to want to give up the guy, and he got to be able to seek a trade in order for that to be a conversation. Bland had a legit case for defensive rookie of the year. I just like having that big body who likes to hit inside. Most teams don't have that. Both of them are big. Bland and Mukamu. Mukamu bigger than Bland. Mukamu's 6'4", 215. Bland is like 6'2", 200. Mukamu is bigger than him. So I feel you though. But yeah, either one of those guys can play inside, and they'll smack you. What about the middle linebacker out of Jackson State, Arby Miller? I like his leadership qualities. If that's the first thing you say about the middle linebacker, I don't like him. I don't know. I gotta go see him though, the front office. I gotta check him out. He's a leader. It's like if you like your girlfriend for her personality, that's the first thing you like. She has a great personality. Oh man, this was my guess who's coming to dinner type conversation. Yeah. LV had 5 good games once Hankins got there. Yep, yes he did. All right, I think we're getting down to the bottom of your chat. Once I get to the bottom of the chat, I think we can start, wrapping it up. LVE is not a starter. I guess Dan Quinn is a dummy then. LV's he. I don't want to call Dan Quinn a dummy. That's the only thing. But he's a starter. But define starter. Say, to me, a starter is not he's a placeholder. Because Tyrone Crawford technically was a starter, but he was a placeholder. He didn't do anything great. He just could spell guys. And to me, that's what LVE is. Tell me your favorite interception from LVE, because he don't get them that often. Coverage. Like great in coverage? No. Is he great at like run stuff and like do he like destroy plays? Does he make plays where it's like, damn, if he wasn't there, man, you know what I'm saying? Do he make those kind of plays? No, he don't make no plays. Him and Barr were on the same level. Good guys that you were not mad to be on your team, but they are space holders. They are not, and they could start. They placeholders that start, but they're not like when Carlos Watkins makes more plays than you. Why are you in the conversation, LVE? You the first round pick, not Carlos Watkins. Carlos Watkins has made more plays, makes more plays than LVE on this team, although they play different positions. Clark looked better, faster, flowed better, tackled harder than LVE. Clark is the rookie. You know what I'm saying? Cox got a play that I still remember, and he ain't played in a year. And that's knocking Daniel Jones out. I don't got no plays like that from LVE when I'm like, he had one play in Tampa Bay, this playoff game. He jumped in the air and he like broke up a pass and fell to the ground, hurt himself a little bit. I was like, damn, LV kind of sold out on that one. That's it. Even the sacks that he gets, somebody chased them into him. It wasn't LV making moves and destroying some shit. Like, what does he do that makes him like, he's on the field. He might not be. I remember Jeremiah Trotter. Jeremiah Trotter couldn't cover for nothing, but you knew when he was on the field because he's like, although we got to bring in a linebacker to spell Jeremiah Trotter, and we had one in Rolando McClain. Although those guys ain't the greatest coverage guys, when they're there, you know they're there because they are making tackles in the backfield. They are stopping the run flat. You know they're there. You know what I'm saying? And you also know that they're not there in the pass game. But you get that. So it's a trade-off somewhere. You know what I mean? LV is Keith Brooking. He's Keith Brooking. I remember Brian, what's his name? Brian. He's a linebacker, middle linebacker. He said that he a coach now for Atlanta. What was his name? Brian something. But he said that Keith Brookins made tackles 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage every time, 7 yards down the field almost every time. Was it Brian Peppers? No, it wasn't Peppers. Start with a P though. I don't remember. Anyway, done talking about that. Well, Hannah ain't made a play in 2 years. We suck versus the run. Dallas finished 22 versus the run. 22 versus the run because we were on the field too much. I don't think we were 22 versus the run in the first 8 games of the season. We wore down later in the year because our offense was hanging us out to dry. Did you hear Mike McCarthy say, I would like my defense to get a chance to rest? I don't think we suck half as bad versus the run as we looked on film. Everybody violent on our defense except for Diggs are violent in LV. Yes, they are. Noah is a straight up monster. Might be a cool tight end. But definitely not scared to cross the middle like CD. Yeah, Noah B. I don't disrespect. I don't never disrespect Noah Brown because Noah Brown. I didn't think Noah Brown was nothing before this year. I'm like, he's a blocker. That's what I liked about him. This year, I was like, damn, Noah Brown got hands, and he'll like fly across the middle. That play against Houston, man, when Noah Brown flew across the middle and got smacked, I think people disrespect that play. Like what? It was like crazy. Let me see if this on YouTube real quick so I can find it. Let me see. No, it's not on here. Well, I don't see it. But anyway, Noah Brown's catch was like that catch against Houston was crazy. Let me see. This is it. This might be it. Yeah, this one right here. This shit loud for no reason. Look at this catch. This catch was crazy, man. Like this ball just flew through the air, caught that joint and got rocked. Bang. That was a hell of a catch. I was like, after that, I was like, I started respecting him a little bit more. I was like, I ain't think Noah Brown had that in him. To be honest with you, I'm not saying that Noah Brown is great or he needs to be the guy. No, but Noah Brown deserves to be like the fourth or fifth guy that he is. But I don't mind him being there. I don't mind him being on the team. I don't think he a bum by any stretch of the imagination. I say we keep Izzy Mukamu at nickel or at least rotate him. He pretty good there in the playoffs. He did very good there in the playoffs. He played better than J. Lou there for the time he was there. All right. I mean, he was flashing pretty damn good. Okay, check this guy out. CB Sterling Thomas, UAB. He ran a 4.2, and they don't throw his way. You know who's a guy that they don't throw at, or who they shouldn't throw at? Emmanuel Forbes. But they don't like him because he plays at 170. But this dude's 6'1", 6'2", 170 lean. I think he'll get to 185. You know, that should be his plan. Like, get him to 185. But he a ball hawk, just like Diggs. Emmanuel Forbes is nasty. What's up, babe? She said, hey, Akoye. That was at 10:38. She probably ain't even on here no more. Can Jabril replace Wilson? Jabril wouldn't. Jabril could only replace Wilson if you ask. Oh, you mean like where he plays, like near the line of scrimmage? Actually, yeah, he could because well, we had two safeties. Our safeties were our anchors on the edge, so our safeties would be playing. You have Curse was playing strong safety, and Wilson was playing like Will linebacker, our free safety, and they would flip flop those roles depending on which way the offense was going. If the offense flipped, their roles would change. But that might be the way you get Cox on the field. You actually got a good point, Sam G. That was smart. I thought 3-4 would be the way to get him on the field. Slam on the combine, all-time fast 40s by position film. Dude, definitely first-round talent. I think we would have been better if he swapped snaps with damn near any of our defensive ends last year. Yeah, he could have. Man, when they say D-Law is this, D-Law dope. But D-Law, Sam Williams would have got 10 sacks if it wasn't for the fact that he wasn't starting and he barely played. If Sam Williams would have started, he would have got 10, 11 sacks, but then you would have had a problem signing him next year. But you know he ain't a bust. You know he ain't no taco. That's what Philly did all year. O-line just leaned on teams and most could not deal, then throw slants behind it. Facts. The Cowboys need to sign some outlaws. We got a bunch of them. You need more? You got a killer on the team. Like, what else you need? And a snitch. How you a killer and a snitch? You know, that's what you. Damn, it's crazy. I don't mean to call you a snitch, but you is. Big Curtis, 17. I love Sam Williams. He is a stud and one of the best edge rushers in last year's draft. I think you could easily argue that he is the best because of his strength. You got guys as fast or just as fast, like Walker, but they're more finesse than he is. But he can take a guy like they call him Slam for a reason. Like this dude is ridiculously strong. He can flip a car, but he can run like a deer. That's dangerous. That's scary. He's faster than Sauce Gardner, and everybody talking about Sauce Gardner right now. He's faster than Sauce Gardner. How are you 280 faster than Sauce Gardner? That's crazy. We getting a janitor in free agency. Yeah, I agree. That's all we need though. Maserati Masi. I know we have our tight ends already. I love Darnell Washington too. Alone, he upgrades our run game. We can use him as our fullback like we did with Connor Williams. Imagine developing him. Yeah, he would be nasty. Honestly, if he was here, I would probably take a guy like Hendershot, put him at fullback, and let him play tight end next to what's his face, Ferguson. I agree. Hankins, Wagner, Parsons, Sam Williams. Damn. What you mean? What do you do with those guys? What do you mean? You mean all of them on the same team? What you mean? That would be crazy. I don't want Parsons playing end on first and second down so much no more. Rather just third down sack specialist. He looks worn out. Thank you. They was beating him up, man. Beating his legs up, all that. Rush like Diggs. Yeah, Rush is like Diggs. I like Rush. Oh, Julius Brent, I like him too. Defense overall in free agency will have the most impact because the most available talent. Like Bobby Wagner takes the defensive free agency room conversation, to a different level. Um, Outside of that, no. But yeah, if we signed Bobby Wagner, that would change this team a lot. Him and like I said, him and Micah Parsons playing next to each other. Everybody keep talking about Kancey, man. I just don't see the number 26 level play on tape with Kancey to me. Okay, I got you. I thought you were about to say he not the 26 pick. You mean like fall into 26 pick? Somebody gonna take him higher than that because of his speed. Is watch, and I don't think he's gonna play bad. He like a Bud Dupree, he like that type of guy. If you put him on the Steelers and you say, all right, we want you to remain 280, you could do something like you did with what's that dude name? He used to play for the McPhee, Pernell McPhee. He could be that type of guy if you put him on the edge as a 3-4 defensive end. That's a run stopper type of guy and can pass rush too. Like he's that type of guy. He's not, but as a three tech, yeah. Remember he's 6 foot 280 and has to play against some of the best guards in the world. You know what I'm saying? Not college football, but he got to play against real guards. And yeah, you might be able to run around some of them, but they see guys like Aaron Donald. Like you're not surprising them with the 4.6 speed. As like that's not, and you got arms where it's like, yeah, you violent. He is violent. He's a good player. I don't even want to knock him because his film actually looked better than Jalen Carter's film to me, but because he's more violent, than Jalen Carter is. But he's still small as hell. All right. Let's see what else y'all talking about. I like having this conversation with y'all. I mean, next time y'all should definitely jump on and actually talk to me. Like y'all never do it when I put the link in there. I didn't put it in there today, so whatever. But usually, I leave it available for y'all to jump on, and y'all don't. What you think of Ford Wheaton, the wide receiver in the draft? I don't know. I gotta look him up. Izzy came out of Southern Carolina running a 4.37. Yes, he did. With the ball coming out quicker every year, bigger CBs are not a liability in coverage. No, they're not. Izzy has fluid hips and the size doesn't affect him. Truth. What about this season makes us 10-7 other than your hate? Tell me. Because did you think we was 12 how we got worse this year all of a sudden? Did you think we would be 12-5 last year? I think Mike McCarthy and them already proved they could win with players going down. We had everybody and their mama go down. Yeah, Tyron Smith go down, Dak go down. Then I think Biotis went down. Fournier had to play center. Who else? Everybody. J. Lou went down. AB went down. And we still finished 12-5. But we healthy, and y'all like 10-7. Crazy, man. All right. D Law has a 3-year deal. Okoye, I agree. Okoye Clark just needs more reps to learn. Facts. Yeah, AB is a free agent, but he's also a free agent with a torn Achilles. I'm going to say it for you. LV is soft. We all know that, man. LV is so underwhelming. All right, I think we done. Hold up, let me see. What we gonna do with Turpin at wide receiver? Nothing. Not much. I know you can give him a couple plays, but wow, he said Jabril is not very good. Man, my eyes don't lie, man. You is crazy. Where do you get that from? What film did you watch to say that? You watched this film in Dallas? Because even when you watch that, you can't say that. That's crazy. That's wild, bro. I watched his games even when he was blowing guys out and he got in. Jabril still was making every tackle. How the hell he not good? That is crazy. Noah Brown is the toughest wide receiver on his team. Plays team blacks like a demon and can catch if you throw a decent football. But yeah, effing football is what you said. Burger shot. All right, KC's podcast. Hankins need to be a priority. Yes, he does. What up, Jordan? With Jordan Lewis, he'll be back. Can see way too little. Yes. Who's my favorite O lineman in the draft? I don't know because I haven't started O lineman yet. Um, Garza. I started Garza, but I will check him out. Hey, y'all, Foxy friends. And Kyle Cornett. Ford Wheaton is 6'4", 220, and runs a 4.3. God damn. Could run some DK style routes for us if he could run routes. Just because you fast, I mean you can run routes. Uh, all right, I think that's it, man. I'm tired too. All right, well listen, getting back to the film, I've been on this computer all day. Make sure you guys check out the footage that I just put up of Jalen Carter if you're interested. I will be doing some more film soon. And Hold on, I think he said something here. Hold on. Okoye, these dead people get on my nerves looking for attention. Sadiqa always mad, man. You be angry. OSU linemen look pretty damn good. Yeah, they do against Jalen Carter. They beat the shit out of Jalen Carter. But yeah, check that footage out. Also, I dropped the Zeke video this morning, and I'm doing this live. So I literally been on this joint all day. I'm gonna get some rest, and yeah, that's it, man. Talk to y'all soon. I'll be on tomorrow at some point. Don't know what time, but when the urge hits me, I will jump on. Talk to y'all soon, man. Peace.